Virtual work experiences might seem like an unlikely hangout spot for experienced professionals, right? Well, hold on to your hats because I'm about to introduce you to a cool place you might want to take a sneak peek at. It's called Forage, and it's not just for fresh faced grads, it's for anyone eager to learn. You see, two visionaries, Tom and Pasha, saw a gap between study and the real working world. They also realized that big corporations can be intimidating, especially for those without insider connections. And they aren't alone. Grad Australia, now known as Prosple, are doing the same thing. They've teamed up with some of Australia's top 100 employers to create real world work simulations. In a nutshell, these platforms give you the chance to get a taste of what it's really like to work at a particular company. And let me tell you, it can be the perfect ground for helping you to prepare for interviews too. Why? Because it arms you with insider knowledge about the company. These simulations aren't just fun and games, they test and polish your professional skills. Plus, they reward you with digital badges and certificates. From accounting to consulting, design to HR, even sales and customer service, there's a smorgasbord of simulations to explore. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned pro in your field, you can still benefit. But wait, there's more. Let's take a sneak peek behind the curtain. Okay, so when you come to the Forage website, the first thing that you'll need to do is sign up. Now, I've already signed up, so I don't need to, but the sign up button is pretty straightforward and clearly labeled. So once you log in, you'll be presented essentially with a range of simulations that you can take part in. And the first part really is just to come down and start having a look through. And you can filter by your career interest. So, depending on where you're transitioning to, or potentially where you want to maybe bolster up some skills. So, if you're wanting to do that side of things, then you can have a look through here and pick something that might be appropriate for you there. The other way is if there's a particular company that interests you, so you want to get into a company or you want to interview with a company and you want to get a little bit more of a sense about how they work, maybe get some behind the scenes that can help you with interviews, etc., then you can always have a look through the company list and see what kind of opportunities they have for you to potentially complete. So let's have a look at a couple of these, shall we? In the client services space, so let's say you are client facing and you want to maybe bolster some skills up in this particular area. We've got a local council that has an experience that wraps around customer support. We've got a big company over here with Bloomberg and a piece that wraps around their client service. This one down here is an intermediate one, so I'm going to talk about that in just a second. There's also one that's a bit of left of field, which is tax consulting. So there's a few that are in here that you could potentially choose from. What I like about this is it tells you roughly how long it's going to take you to do whatever the experience is that they are presenting to you. Sometimes it's just good to be able to see kind of how the company works in the background as well, which is pretty awesome. This one over here from Bloomberg is an intermediate one. So if you don't have experience in customer service, you might want to do some other ones first before you bounce into something like this because it will be a bit harder. And also you can see the time duration is a lot longer compared to what's over here. So 1 to 2 hours versus 5 to 6 hours. So this one is a lot more intensive. Not every experience is going to be the same duration. Some of them are going to obviously be quite short, like these ones, and some of them will be a lot longer. So that's say client services. Let's have a little bit more of a look around at some of the other ones. We've got, say, engineering. So there's some interesting employers that are in here and types of experience from GE Aerospace, John Holland. There's a few really kind of interesting experiences in the mix here. Then we've got, say, human resources. There's one for GE Aerospace. What else do we have? Let's see, maybe marketing. Let's pick marketing. Okay, so Lululemon have got a couple. They've got an omni-channel marketing one. There's a brand and design experience in here from Sydney Romantics. So there's a couple of interesting ones, including Moreton Bay as well. They've got another one that lives within the marketing space too. And again, you can see the different hours that we've got in here. So the omnichannel one for Lululemon is 4 hours. The Sydney Romantics one is 5 to 6 hours. So some of them can take you a while to get through. Then if you're looking at specific companies, so let's say I was interested in ANZ, theirs is focused on cybersecurity management. What else have we got? Let's see. BP, another really big organization. They're focusing on digital design and user experience. Oh, here's one for CBRE. What have they got? Oh, they've got a few. Okay. So they've got facilities management, one that wraps around commercial real estate. So there's some interesting ones that are in this mix. They look to be a bit shorter except for this sales one. If you wanted to pick one of these, essentially what you would do is just click on whichever one it is that interests you, and then you'll get a nice overview. They've all usually got a really lovely video from somebody within the company that welcomes you. It obviously gives you an idea of how long it's going to take, and then it breaks down what you will be doing as part of that experience. And essentially what you need to do is you click on register and it will enroll you into the program. So now it comes up, and each of the professional experiences will look the same in how it's laid out. So we've got 2 tasks, which is what was outlined in the overview, and it also breaks down your time. And I love that how they talk about what you'll learn, what you will be doing. You have a really beautiful video in here. I've noticed that the ones that I have selected have these really lovely videos embedded in them. They will give you your task, and it's got some documents to be able to help you as well. Once you have completed the activity, you then upload the file from whatever the activity is that they have asked you to do. But even before you do that, I love that you can have a look at the different activities before you get to them. So you don't have to sort of feel like, oh, I have to do task 1 before I can see task 2, for example. You can have a look at both of them, see what's being asked of you before you dive on in. I also love that there's a little toggle in here that allows you to be contacted by the organization as well, if you so wish. So that's one. Then I will just quickly show you another one. So that was CBRE. And I also enrolled in this one here for G Aerospace. So let's go and have a quick look. Oh, and I also love this too, where you've got achievements. So as you complete achievements, you can then unlock certain bonuses or benefits as well. So again, it's all laid out exactly the same way, and it's just a really simplistic, easy dashboard to look at. So we've got our overview here with a really beautiful video from the organization. Here's the information about your task. And then I love that this particular task has got a video assigned to it as well as the text part. So you can either watch the video or you can read the text to know what you need to do. They have some great resources built in as well. So again, if you want to get a little bit of an insight into the organization, they're providing you with how they actually go about doing certain tasks, and you can really get a little bit of an insight into what they're about. Then down further, you can either do an audio recording or you can upload a file, because I think this was providing feedback. So you can either record whatever the feedback would be, or you can upload a file of what you would say. So I highly encourage you to jump in and have a look at this one and see if there's some elements in here or some areas in here that will work really nicely for you when it comes to either boosting your skills, finding out more about different organizations, preparing for interviews, etc. Okay, that's Forage, but what about Prosple? So this is Prosple's website. Now, ordinarily, I'm usually directing people who are currently studying, recent grads, etc., to this particular website. However, they also have virtual experiences embedded in here, and there's some really interesting ones that even experienced professionals can potentially look at to get more insight into an organization that you might be interested in and help prepare for an interview. So essentially what you're going to do is from the top part here, you head into virtual experience, and it's up to you if you choose to niche down into a certain sector. I know that's by study field, but essentially it's really industry, right? So you can either pick an area in here that is applicable to your experience and your background, or you can just leave it open and see what's in there. So once you get in, then you'll have a list. Now, my preference was for how they set this up previously. They've sort of merged it in with their job board, but That being said, as you scroll down the list, you'll see some of the big players in here. So we've got Capgemini, for example. We have got L'Oreal Australia. There's some government that's mixed in here too. So there's quite a few big organizations that are in this mix, and a really wide range of virtual experiences that you can potentially have. So once you have had a look and have found something that you potentially want to do, then you can click into it and see what the opportunity or the virtual experience is about. So let's jump into L'Oreal, for example. This one here should take about 1 to 2 hours to complete. I love that it tells you whether you get a digital badge, and it's something that can be shared on LinkedIn, possibly something you can add to your resume if you want. That's if you're doing it from a skill building experience. If you're doing it more for interview prep and getting insight into the company, then you may not necessarily want to do that. It tells you a little bit about some of the skills that you're going to gain and also what you are going to be doing. And essentially, same as with Forage, you just register for it and it will add it to your account. If you don't have an account with Prosple already, it will say that you need to create an account with them first and then it will register you. So let's head over to the one that I have enrolled in and we can go and have a quick look at the behind the scenes. Once you have logged in, you will be able to head down to your virtual experiences that you have enrolled in. And this is the one that I have jumped into. It's a sales and customer service management one with Fujitsu, which is interesting. So if you are in that space or that vertical in a leadership role and someone like, say, Fujitsu is of interest to you and you want to interview with them, this could be something unique to jump into. So here's the overview. They've got 5 modules in this one: customer engagement, market intelligence, communication and creating buy-in, thinking outside of the box, delivering on promise. And similar to Forage, it's obviously created in a pretty easy linear sort of format. So we've got the introduction, so who is Fujitsu, what you're going to be covering, and then the outline of the modules. And all you do is you just jump into the modules, read what it is that they want you to do, and then they'll tell you what the task is and you can populate your responses in here. Same with module 2. This is quite interesting because they've done a little bit of a competitor analysis in here. That's some interesting behind the scenes that you get. And then you can pop your responses in and submit. So it's pretty straightforward, but I do love that you get to see how they're thinking, how they're working, and that can then play through into your application and into an interview as well. Apart from brushing up on your interview answers, completing a virtual experience with a company you're interviewing with is like waving a big flag that says, I'm committed and seriously interested. So here's your mission. Take a stroll through these platforms and let me know about your experience. Try 1, 2, or heck, try them all. You might just discover a secret advantage in the world of work. Go ahead, give it a shot, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!